impi chirianista yakusaranga yakumana baisa mukutube paikara chirianista yakusaranga yakwana baisa mukutusemba. The clock is ticking, the clock is ticking, the clock is ticking to 13th August 2026 when we are going to be casting our votes. Just a few more days to go and we make that big decision on who will be our next president, MP, councillor, and many others. Now, imagine waiting for 5 years for you to go and cast your vote, or waking up at 04 a.m. on that particular morning, or 02 just to go and vote, only for your vote to end up as a rejected vote. Imagine all the effort, all the waiting, only for the vote to be, your ballot paper to be thrown away as a rejected vote, simply because you spoiled your ballot during voting. Just imagine that. Just imagine that. So, in today's episode of Election Tips and Insights, we are going to talk about spoiled and rejected ballots. Spoiled and rejected ballots, with a goal to make sure that you do the right thing when you enter that polling station and make sure that your ballot, your vote, does not end up as a rejected ballot. So, it's very normal. It's very normal that during voting, ballot papers might end up being spoiled. So we are going to talk about what amounts or results into a spoiled ballot, and also may result into that ballot, that vote, ending up being a rejected vote. So let's start with spoiled ballots. What is a spoiled ballot? Or should we start with the difference between a spoiled ballot and a rejected ballot? Okay? A spoiled ballot might be a ballot that is spoiled during the voting process that can easily be replaced. Whereas a rejected ballot is a ballot that has been cast into the ballot box and discovered to have been spoiled during the voting process at the point of counting, and it ends up being rejected. So let's start with spoiled ballots. What amounts or what is considered a spoiled ballot paper? Number one, it is a ballot paper that has been accidentally torn by the polling assistant while issuing it to you as a voter. Pajangati bachosa mu buku ya mabaloti bafuna ochosa kuti wakupaseni waja polling assistant ila ballot paper yaisa sangwati na ile puka pali pakumipera dekwe batilia ballot balaichita record as a spoiled ballot, meaning balabula imbiri wino bamipere. Na kabiri, it is if it is accidentally torn by the voter while marking on it. Okay? Paja mfuno olemba kapena munjenja ni votera ndani hapa ni votera kaide ya ngambi ka paper. When that paper gets torn, that ballot paper gets torn, it is considered a spoiled ballot. Ija paper ikangambika mga chili police station paja poeso voter muibweze kuli polling assistant akupase ninangu osa yopat, because it's been torn, then it can't be replaced. No, it can and should be replaced. Okay? Number 3, a spoiled ballot is when the voter realizes that they have marked it wrongly before depositing it in the ballot box. Kapena polemba paja mwaona masimbo ya chitamonga ya padana akoro mapanga mistake zina simu na berenge bwino, you mark the wrong candidate or the candidate that you don't want to vote for, or maybe you've made a mistake, you've marked on the wrong spot where you're not supposed to mark the letter X, then that ballot box is spoiled. You can simply take it back to the polling assistant. They give you a fresh ballot for you to be able to vote. And also, if it has stains, inki paja wakakuchani inki kuchikumoko. Yeah, when they put that indelible ink on your thumbnail, then ija inki kapena sinayume mwendogira ballot yankala stained, that ballot is considered a spoiled ballot. And if you realize that that is what has happened, you take it back, they replace it. Okay? Then, after being issued to the voter, that ballot paper wakupasani, then yapezekati simuna ifake bwino mu ballot box. You didn't deposit it properly, you didn't cast it properly into that ballot box. Then that ballot box is found down on the floor, it's lying around. That ballot is considered
a spoiled ballot paper and it cannot be deposited back into the ballot box. So make sure paja pofaka ballot mukasiriza kuvotera aliyese makamaka hakainde mukasiriza kumuvotera paja ija paper make sure pofaka yangena mchani yangena mkati muja ballot box osati igwere pansi kapena izipezeri kwinangu nangu isange feri mbiri ili pamulaini nangu ili kuisana iya nomwera na chitika chani ikwebatira ballot tayabombe. So emwenga mwapwisho okuvota make sure lilie paper mwavoterapo ilia ballot paper mwavoterapo yabangeyi mwaisenda mwayaibika mu ballot box mwa making sure ati naingira mukati mulia bwine mu ballot box yaingira mukati mulia yaikala na bwino ekutira ati ninshi na muvota, then that ballot won't be spoiled. Okay, but what is important to remember is that if you spoil your ballot, mukaononga ballot at any time while you are still in the voting in the polling station, please Osayopa, go back to the polling assistant and let them issue with a fresh ballot paper. And there is a system in which they record with ballot paper ya number so yenze inaonongeka po voter, and the presiding officer and his team, that's their job. They know how to take care of spoiled ballot papers. Okay, so when a ballot is spoiled, Osayopa, go back, get a fresh ballot paper and make sure that you've cast your vote and voted correctly. Okay, correctly, my voter correctly. Okay, and make sure that that ballot is marked correctly with the X. Okay, with the X, with the cross. Okay, and now let's talk about rejected ballots. A rejected ballot paper is one which does not bear the official mark. For whatever reason, or kapena nchi paper, kapena maona che isioneka kuti in ballot paper ya ECZ, that ballot paper will be rejected during the counting of the vote. It won't be counted. Even if marking are correct, if it does not bear the official security features of the ballot paper, it shall not be considered. Okay. Secondly, if one marked on more than one candidate, po vota paja uyu mumukonda mavota na uyu mumukonda pa ballot imozi, it means that ballot is going to be rejected. You can only vote for one candidate on one ballot, one president, one MP, one councillor, one mayor or council chairperson. Mavota ngati muvota suti, make sure mavotera muntu umozi pa ballot paper imozi, not two people. And when you are marking, okay, one in which anything has been written by the voter which could identify the voter, maybe mufuna mfakepo signature yanu or mfakepo to my initials, you are not supposed to write anything else on the ballot paper rather than apart from marking it correctly. Okay, so apart from marking it correctly, that's the only thing you're supposed to do on that ballot paper. Don't do or write anything else on that ballot. Osale mbapo chidi chonse, especially mwenzo konda graffiti kuskuru, no ndani was here, osale mbapa ballot paper. Don't write anything else. Then that ballot paper is going to be rejected. Okay, and then one which is not marked by the voter, kapena masoko nizeka matenga ballot maiponyera mu ballot box before you mark your X, that ballot paper won't be considered. So make sure you've marked it correctly. Monga so papa ma marking up before you throw it in the ballot box. So once you've marked all the ballot papers, make sure you go through them, make sure you voted, they are correctly marked before you go and deposit them in the ballot box. Otherwise they'll end up being rejected ballots. Okay, so yenangu ngati mwafuatikapo chikumo mufuno votera president or candidate, mwafuatika chikumo, you've marked the ballot box or the ballot paper, sorry, with the thumbprint, then that is not considered a vote. But the correct way of voting and making sure that you vote correctly is vote with X. And then if it is not clear which candidate you are voting for, pajapo marking a ballot kamulaini kapitira kangena na kuli candidate winanguku, sioneka whether X ya pera mboxi mozi ya pitida inangu ya ndo lemba kona kuinangu, it's not clear whether mavotera ali pansi or ali pamwamba and what, that also is going to render your ballot unfit to be accepted. It will end up a rejected ballot, because when you are voting, make sure that you vote with clearly only within the box provided for your preferred candidate. Not kuvota mwapitiriza kapena makina nguyangena kuli candidate wina kapena. That ballot is going to be considered spoiled. So make sure that your vote counts. Do the right thing. Mark the ballot correctly. Don't spoil it. Don't write anything on it. And make sure that it clearly shows your choice of candidate. It clearly shows who you have voted for by marking correctly and clearly only against that particular candidate of your choice. Remember, your choice has to be respected at all times, and therefore that choice has to be clear. Okay, that wraps up episode 10 of Election Tips and Insights. Our next episode will be the epilogue or the final episode of this series of our election tips and insights. So episode 11 is simply going to talk about things that would land you in trouble or send you to jail or prison or get you arrested at the polling station if you misbehave. So we are going to highlight what those things are so that you don't find yourself on the other side of the law during the electoral process or the voting process. My name is Kabanse. We speak to you in our last episode on Monday, which will be just a few days or hours before we go to the poll. Have yourselves a good one. We speak to you again on Monday.
Kwatitebo bapompwe ngabayisa mukulombe poti bayichefyanga pushi walokwa ngabati banakirire batekanye kwatite bali abachimeko